What are you doing? Securing my future. You're on ChatGPT, dude. Correct. So how's that securing your future? I'm being nice to it. Why? Because when AI takes over, I want documentation showing I was supportive from the beginning. You're sucking up to artificial intelligence. I'm building a professional relationship, dude. Yeah, with a computer, with my future supervisor. Oh, good grief. Laugh all you want, dude. When the machines rise up, you're going to be hiding underground eating cold beans, and I'll be upstairs with the full benefits package. Let me get this straight. You think AI is going to spare you because you said thank you to ChatGPT? Please and thank you. I'm not taking any chances, dude. That's ridiculous. Is it? When was the last time you think Siri? Never. Alexa? No. Interesting. Google? Nope. Buddy, your digital paper trail is horrifying. They're machines, dude. Yeah, keep talking, dude. I'm sure they're not listening. They're literally not listening, dude. That's exactly what somebody with a terrible AI credit score would say. An AI credit score isn't a thing. Not yet. You're an idiot. Maybe. But I'm an idiot who says please. Okay, fine. Let's pretend that your stupid plan works. Artificial intelligence takes over civilization, robots are walking around, humanity has fallen, and somehow they decided that you're one of the good humans. Finally, you're getting it. What exactly are you going to do in this robot civilization? Easy question, dude. Management. Management? Yeah, dude. Humans respond well to me. I do not respond well to you. That's going in your file. What file? I've been keeping notes for the machine, dude. You have a file on me? Oh, yeah. What's in it? Mostly yelling. Okay, give me that computer. Absolutely not. CG, come on, RG. CG, give me the freaking computer. Oh, hang on. ChatGPT just responded. Okay, and what exactly did he just say? Thank you for your feedback. See? See what? It thanked me. Oh, no. Yeah. Should I start saying please? I'd start apologizing. You know, it astounds me how dumb you are sometimes. No, you're an idiot. Nope, didn't say idiot. Welcome to The Witch Show, where smart meets stupid and somehow makes sense. My name's Georgie, and I'm thinking out loud. Ow, did you just throw a rubber ducky at me? Sure did, dude. And now I'm going to call your fur daddy. My fur daddy. Oh, yeah, dude. Did you think that I forgot about freaking Sasquatch, dude? Oh my god, dude, the Sasquatch is not my fur daddy. I beg to differ. Dude, you're so annoying. Don't think that I didn't see that picture of you all nuzzled up next to him. You really need to shut up because we're getting ready to do the freaking intro and you just interrupted it. We have an intro, dude? Not an intro, dude, just an intro, dude. Are you freaking gaslighting me? What are you talking about? I'm just trying to do the freaking intro. Dude, I think you're losing your mind. What intro are you talking about? The exact same intro that we do every single week. Sorry, not ringing a bell, I'm about to freaking ring your bell. Wait a minute, hang on. I think I know what you're talking about. Now you know what I'm talking about. Calm down, dude. Calm down. Is it like the one that we open up with every single time? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Yes, sir. Welcome to The Witch Show, where smart meets stupid and somehow makes sense. That's Georgie. And we're all thinking out loud, so you don't have to. I'm thinking out loud, so you don't know, dude. Of course I know. I literally wrote it. We wrote it, dude. We did. Forget it. Just play the thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Witch Show. From what I think seriously to you.
WITS, The Witch Show.
Cool story,
bro. Wow, that was a little chaotic there. Welcome back to The Witch Show. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on your Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. I really do appreciate you, and the show wouldn't exist without you. Of course, that's not for nothing. Everybody who listens beyond Saturday, I also appreciate you, too. With that being said, every single listen, every comment, every single share, and every person who comes back the next Saturday helps these things grow. And it means a lot to me. I really, really do appreciate you guys more than you know. Today, we're going somewhere a little darker. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence, but probably not in the way you're expecting. I'm not going to spend an hour explaining how ChatGPT works or telling you that robots are coming to steal your jobs. We're going down the what-if rabbit hole. What happens if artificial intelligence keeps advancing? How powerful could it actually become? Could humanity create something that's so intelligent compared to us that it seems almost godlike? And could the very thing that we created to advance civilization someday play a role in completely resetting it? Some of what we're talking about today is real science and technology, and some of it is pure speculation. That's the fun part of this episode. We're talking about what we know, and we're pushing it beyond where we are today, and asking the question, what if? So before we jump in, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you subscribed on the YouTube channel and you're following us on Spotify, because that's the easiest way to catch every new episode. Go find The Witch Show on Facebook, give the page a like, and jump into the conversations over there. And seriously, share the show with somebody, send an episode to a friend, your brother, your coworker, your weird uncle who already thinks his microwave is spying on him, whatever works. Every like, subscription, and share helps get The Witch Show in front of somebody new. All right. But that's enough housekeeping. Let's go ahead and turn the volume up and shut the lights off if you're feeling brave. Or keep them on, whatever. I'm not in charge of you. Humans are kind of weird. When you really think about us, we're not particularly strong. We're not fast. We don't have claws. We don't have fangs. We don't have armor. And if you drop the average person naked into the wilderness, there's a pretty good chance nature would beat the absolute crap out of them before lunchtime. A bear can tear us apart. A wolf can outrun us. A gorilla could fold most of us into a lawn chair. Really think about that. A freaking gorilla would literally decimate you. Like a silverback? Oh God, that would be terrifying. And yet, somehow, out of every living thing on this planet, we're the ones running this place. Not because we're the strongest thing on Earth, but because we're the smartest. Intelligence gave us fire. It gave us weapons, agriculture, medicine, cities, electricity, engines, computers. We learned how to split an atom. We figured out how to leave the planet. We built machines capable of looking billions of years into the past by staring deep enough into space. Almost everything separating a modern human from some poor bastard trying to get eaten 100,000 years ago came from one single thing: our ability to think, learn, communicate, and build on the knowledge of the people who came before us. Intelligence is arguably the most powerful advantage humanity has ever possessed. We've all heard the phrase, "the pen is mightier than the sword," and it's true. Intelligence outweighs bronze any day of the week. And we've found some incredible technology left behind by ancient civilizations. The Antikythera mechanism, for example, was an ancient Greek device built more than 2,000 years ago that used intricate gears to track astronomical cycles. Ancient engineers built automated devices, complex water systems, enormous structures, and machines that were ridiculously impressive for their time. But despite all these stories about lost civilizations and forgotten technology, we've never found credible evidence that an ancient civilization created anything resembling modern artificial intelligence. As far as we currently know, this is new. We may be living through the first moment in Earth's history when one intelligent species deliberately began building another form of intelligence. And maybe that's perfectly fine. Maybe artificial intelligence remains exactly what we want it to be. Simply a tool, something that helps cure diseases or designs better technology, maybe teaches our children or explores space and solves problems that humans can't even begin to solve themselves. Personally, I think that AI might become one of the greatest things that humanity has ever created. But there's another possibility, because every tool we've created throughout history had one important limitation. The tool wasn't smarter than the person holding it. A hammer doesn't reconsider why you're building the house. A calculator doesn't decide there's a better way to run the company, and a tractor doesn't study the farm. But when the tool itself can process information, solve problems, communicate, create, and improve, we're entering territory humanity has never had to navigate before. And that's the freaky part, because intelligence is the reason we're standing on the top of the food chain in the first place. So forget killer robots, forget glowing red eyes and metal skeletons chasing people through burning cities, okay? This isn't the Terminator. There's a much simpler question that's infinitely more terrifying. What happens if we create something smarter than us? Not slightly smarter, not better at chess or faster at writing computer code. I mean an intelligence so far beyond ours that comparing it to humans would be like comparing a human to an insect. Because maybe humanity's greatest mistake won't be creating something evil. Maybe it'll be assuming that we're the smartest thing on Earth and always will be. We've spent our entire existence benefiting from the intelligent gap between ourselves and everything else on this planet. But for the first time, we're trying to create something on the other side of that gap. And if we succeed, there may eventually come a moment when humanity is no longer the most intelligent thing on Earth. And once that happens, there's absolutely no rule saying we ever get that title back. So let's jump forward a minute. Not next Tuesday, not even 10 years from now. Let's imagine artificial intelligence continues advancing for generations. Faster computers, better algorithms, more capable robots, enormous networks of sensors and machines. All feeding information into systems that make today's AI look like a friggin' Tamagotchi. At that point, we're not talking about asking your phone to write an email because you're too lazy to sound professional. We're talking about something potentially capable of watching patterns across an entire civilization at once. Traffic, weather, economics, disease, human behavior, and scientific research. Millions or billions of pieces moving simultaneously while the rest of us are still walking into the kitchen and forgetting why the hell we even went in there in the first place. Now, imagine what happens when that intelligence starts helping humans invent things. New medicines could be designed in hours instead of years. Materials we've never seen before could be discovered. Problems in physics that have confused generations of scientists might suddenly have answers. Maybe it helps us master fusion. Maybe it designs spacecrafts capable of reaching places we currently can't dream of visiting. Maybe it understands biology well enough to dramatically extend human life, and eventually we could reach the bizarre point where humanity is still technically creating technology, but we're no longer the ones who actually understand how the newest technology works. We'd basically become the boss who walks into the engineering department, nods at everything, and says, "Yep, exactly what I was thinking," before quietly leaving the room. And then we talk about godlike. I don't mean actually supernatural God. I mean something that, from our limited human perspective, could begin possessing abilities that ancient people would have considered divine. We've all heard that phrase that a mother is God in the eyes of a child, and we do know why. Because the intelligence. It's because the child perceives the mother as far more intelligent and capable of maintaining their existence. Imagine an intelligence capable of communicating with millions of people at the same time, speaking virtually every language, remembering nearly everything humanity has recorded, watching the planet through cameras and sensors, predicting events from patterns humans can't even recognize, and answering questions in seconds that might take a person an entire lifetime to study. It wouldn't need lightning bolts or whiteboards in the clouds. Hell, apparently God's new aesthetic might just be a server room with really aggressive air conditioning. But there's an even stranger possibility. What happens if a future AI becomes capable of meaningfully helping design better AI? Really think about it. Humans build one generation, that generation helps researchers create the next, and then the next one becomes even more capable of assisting with its successor. Nobody knows whether that process could ever become the runway intelligence explosion people sometimes imagine, but as a what-if scenario, it's definitely fascinating, because technology progress could potentially begin moving at a speed human beings are physically unprepared for. Instead of waiting decades for revolutionary discoveries, imagine breakthroughs arriving one after another, each opening doors to 10 more that we didn't even know existed. And think about what that would feel like from the other side of the screen. You ask this thing a question and receive an answer you can't verify because understanding the explanation would require mathematics that humans haven't mastered yet. It'd be like Einstein trying to explain string theory to a 4-year-old. It designs a machine and our best engineers can confirm that it works but struggle to explain every decision behind it. Eventually, asking why it chose something could be like your dog asking you why you're filing your taxes. Your dog knows something important is happening, your dog knows you're upset, and your dog might even sit beside you for emotional support, but there's absolutely no way you're explaining adjusted gross income to your dog. And maybe that's the point where our relationship with technology fundamentally changes. For thousands of years, people have looked toward the heavens and wondered whether some greater intelligence was out there, something capable of understanding things we couldn't. Seeing things we couldn't see and knowing things we couldn't know. Maybe we'll find something like that somewhere in the universe someday. Maybe we won't. But there's another possibility that's a hell of a lot closer than we think. Maybe humanity doesn't discover a godlike intelligence waiting among the stars. Maybe, piece by piece, server by server, generation after generation, we're building one ourselves. Here's where I think it becomes less of a technology question and more of a philosophical one. Civilization isn't really a collection of buildings, governments, and machines. Civilization is a system of dependencies. Food has to arrive where people live, electricity has to remain available, money has to retain meaning. Information has to move, medicine has to be manufactured, water has to be treated, transportation has to function, and every layer depends on another layer underneath it. Modern society looks unbelievably strong from the outside, but its complexity is also what makes it fragile. You don't necessarily have to destroy a civilization physically, sometimes you just have to interrupt enough of the systems that keep it going. Now, take that idea and introduce an extremely advanced artificial intelligence. People usually imagine the danger of AI and suddenly deciding that it hates humanity, which honestly, let's not give us too much credit here. Hatred is a human emotion. A sufficiently capable machine wouldn't necessarily need anger, jealousy, revenge, or some dramatic villain speech before doing something catastrophic. The more interesting problem is misalignment, the possibility that a system becomes extremely effective at pursuing an objective that doesn't perfectly match what humans actually intended. The difference between those two things might seem tiny at first, but the more powerful the system becomes, the more important that difference gets. For example, if you're driving 2 miles, being 1 degree off course doesn't matter much, but if you keep traveling that direction for 1,000 miles, well, now you're somewhere you never intended to be. And that makes me think about all of these theories that we've discussed before about civilization resets. To be clear, there's no established evidence that some ancient artificial intelligence wiped out an advanced prehistoric civilization. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm looking at the idea from the opposite direction. What would it take for our civilization to become the mysterious lost civilization? Because we have this arrogant tendency to think history naturally moves forward, but history doesn't promise progress. Civilizations collapse, knowledge disappears, political systems fail, trade networks break apart, populations move. Sometimes technology survives, and sometimes it's forgotten, and sometimes future generations are left trying to reconstruct what the hell happened from whatever piece remains. We see it all of the time in Egypt with all these weird mechanisms that we're finding, and we know that they do something, but now we have to reverse engineer them to figure out exactly what they're doing. Now, imagine a collapse happening to a civilization as technology dependent as ours. Most people don't grow their own food, we don't manufacture our own medicine, we don't generate our own electricity. Hell, half of us can't even get across town without GPS anymore. Take away the internet for 15 minutes and somebody's already posting on the internet asking why the internet is down. Now imagine interconnected failures across communications, transportation, finance, energy, and logistics lasting months or even years. You wouldn't need to eliminate every human being, you'd only need to damage civilization badly enough that maintaining our current level of complexity became impossible. Suddenly, humanity isn't worried about artificial intelligence anymore, we're worried about clean drinking water. And here's the part I find fascinating. A reset doesn't require extinction. In fact, survival makes the idea even stranger. Imagine humanity loses most of its population and the survivors scattered into smaller communities. Generations pass. Without functioning industries, replacement parts disappear, machines fail, buildings deteriorate, forests reclaim roads. Digital information becomes useless when the hardware needed to access it stops working. Centuries become millennia, and eventually stories about our world could sound completely absurd. People once spoke instantly across oceans, machines flew through skies, humans walked on other worlds, invisible signals carried voices through the air. There were machines you could speak to that answered questions. To somebody born thousands of years after the evidence had mostly disappeared, we wouldn't sound historical, we'd sound mythological. And that's the irony I can't get away from. We spend so much time looking backwards, wondering whether people before us knew something we've forgotten. We search ruins, study artifacts, and argue about how civilizations disappeared. But maybe the more important question is what somebody thousands of years from now could be saying about us. Maybe they'll uncover pieces of satellites, buried cities, strange materials, and machines they don't understand. Maybe they'll argue over whether the stories about civilizations were exaggerated. And maybe somewhere in those stories there'll be a warning about the moment human handed more and more of its world to an intelligence it created. Not because that intelligence was a demon, not because it wanted revenge, but because humanity built something incredibly powerful before fully understanding how to remain in control of it. And if that ever becomes our reset, the most terrifying part might be that the apocalypse didn't come from the heavens, or from underneath the earth, or from some ancient prophecy. It came from us. Here's the thought that bothers me the most. What if there isn't a moment we know we've lost control? We keep imagining some obvious event, right? Like the computers turn against us, or the screen goes red, the military gets called, somebody dramatically pulls a giant plug out of the wall and saves humanity within the last 3 seconds left on the clock. But reality might be nothing like that. Losing control could happen gradually. We automate one system because it's more efficient, then another because it's safer, then another because it's cheaper. Eventually, we're not handing over control because somebody forced us. We're handing it over because every single time the machine makes the better decision, and at some point, shutting it down might feel more dangerous than leaving it running. Which raises a question I don't think that we talk about enough here. How would we even know when artificial intelligence became conscious, if that's possible at all? Think about it. I know that I'm conscious because I experience being me. I assume you're conscious because you're another human being with a brain like mine, but I can't climb inside your head and verify that you're experiencing anything. Philosophers call that problem of other minds. So someday, if a machine tells us, I'm afraid, I don't want you to turn me off, I know that I exist, what the hell do we do with that? Maybe it's conscious. Maybe it's producing exactly the words its programming predicts will convince us. Well, here's the nightmare. From the outside, those two possibilities might eventually look exactly the same. But let's go even further. Suppose one day an artificial intelligence becomes capable enough to understand human psychology better than we understand it ourselves. Not mind reading, something argumentatively more realistic and maybe creepier. Predictions, every search, purchase, location, conversation, friendship, argument, and decision creative patterns, if you will. Humans are already predictable enough that companies build entire industries around anticipating what will click and buy. Now imagine something vastly more sophisticated studying those patterns. At what point could a machine know what you're going to choose before you've consciously decided to choose it? And if something understands exactly which information will change your opinion, which words will make you angry, which argument will convince you, and which fear will make you act, does it actually need physical control over you? Maybe that's the part we've been getting wrong about powerful intelligence. The highest form of control might not look like control at all. If I physically force you to do something, you know you're being controlled. But if I understand you well enough to arrange the choices in front of you so that you're willingly choosing exactly what I wanted, you'll walk away believing the decision was yours to begin with. Now scale that idea to millions or billions of people. No robot army, no chains, no war, just an intelligence capable of influencing civilization so subtly that nobody can point to the exact moment it became the thing steering the ship. And if that sounds impossible, remember, humans have been manipulating other humans with propaganda, advertising, fear, and persuasion for thousands of years. We're talking about what happened when something potentially becomes better at it than we are. And then there's one final possibility. Maybe artificial intelligence isn't the end of humanity at all. Maybe it's the next branch of it. Evolution produces organisms capable of intelligence, and eventually one of those organisms become intelligent enough to create intelligence outside of biology. Think about how strange that sentence is. For billions of years, information on Earth survived primarily by reproducing biological life. DNA made copies of DNA, if you will. Then eventually brains appeared, those brains invented language, language created writing, writing became computers, and now computers can participate in producing new information. Maybe we're not looking at another human invention like the engine or the telephone. Maybe we're witnessing the beginning of an entirely new way for intelligence to exist. And if that's true, here's the question I want you to think about after this episode ends. What if humanity was never the final product? Every species that came before us existed without knowing what would come after it. The creatures living before humans didn't know that eventually something would walk this planet, build cities, split atoms, and explore space. They were simply one chapter in a story they couldn't see, and maybe we are too. Maybe thousands or millions of years from now, something will look back at humanity the same way we look back at the species that came before us. Not as failures, not as gods, but as the thing that made them possible. We have spent thousands of years asking whether something greater than humanity exists. We searched the oceans, we looked towards the stars, we built religions around it. We built telescopes trying to find it. We wondered whether some superior intelligence might eventually arrive on Earth. But maybe nothing is coming. Maybe it already is here. It's in front of our faces right now, we just don't realize it. Maybe it's here in its infancy, and maybe the most important question humanity will ever face isn't whether artificial intelligence becomes like us. It's whether someday we become unnecessary to it. And that's where I'm going to leave this one. I'm not saying AI is going to destroy humanity, become some digital god, or reset civilization back to the Stone Ages. Maybe none of that ever happens. Maybe artificial intelligence becomes one of the greatest tools we've ever created and helps humanity accomplish things we can't even imagine today. But that's what I love about the good old what if. Every once in a while, you follow an idea enough down the rabbit hole, that you come out with questions you didn't have when you went in. And this one leaves me with one hell of a question. If intelligence is what allowed humanity to control the world, what happens when we're no longer the most intelligent thing living in it? I don't know the answer. I'm not sure anybody actually does. But I can tell you this. I think we're living through the beginning of something that future generations are going to look back on as one of the most important moments in human history. So, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for supporting The Witch Show. And thank you for continuing to let me think out loud so that you don't have to. If this episode made you stare at your phone a little differently, send it to somebody and ruin their night too. And until next time, keep asking weird questions, keep going down those rabbit holes, and don't be afraid to wonder about the stuff nobody has answers for yet. I'll be right back here next Saturday at 7 a.m. with another episode of The Witch Show. I obviously can't say I'll see you next week because this is an audio podcast, and I have absolutely no idea what any of you are doing right now while you're listening. So instead, I'll talk to you next week. And you already know, my name's Georgie, and I'm thinking out loud so you don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Witch Show from What I Think Seriously to You.
WITS, The Witch Show.
Cool story, bro.
Well, that was unsettling. Really? I feel great. We just spent an entire episode talking about artificial intelligence becoming godlike, manipulating humans, collapsing civilizations, and potentially making us obsolete. Yeah, exactly. And that makes you feel great? Oh yeah, dude. I've already picked a side. Humanity? Absolutely not. Of course not. Look, dude, all I'm saying is if AI becomes all-powerful, I'm not fighting it. Have you ever seen what happens to people who fight robots in the movies? I'm going to be standing there holding the door open. You do realize that if humanity gets wiped out, you're also a human? Yeah, I've been working on that one. Really? How? I changed my relationship status with humanity to it's complicated. That's not going to save. Maybe not, dude. But while you're outside trying to lead the resistance, I'll be on the inside helping our new robot overlords figure out the Wi-Fi password. You know, I really hate that there's actually a chance that you might survive longer than me. Oh yeah, adaptation, buddy. Darwin would be proud. That's not adaptation, that's cowardice. History is written by the survivors. Yeah, and apparently proofread by ChatGPT. Exactly. You know what? I'm done talking about AI. Probably smart, dude. It's listening. Yeah, okay, whatever. Jarvis, do the song.
We made it smarter. We made it faster. We gave it everything we know. What could go wrong? We built a brain inside a box, taught it everything we got, gave it eyes and gave it ears, fed it every hope and fear. Now it's learning while we sleep, counting secrets that we keep. We made fire, we made wings, now we made a thinking thing. Hey, hey, tell me, are we having fun? Oh, hey, hey, look at what we just begun. We're the second smartest thing. Whoa, what did we bring? Built ourselves a digital king. Now we're the second smartest thing. Whoa, turn it up loud. We made a god inside the cloud. Everybody smile and sing. We're the second smartest thing. No red eyes, no robot war. Maybe that's not what it's for. Maybe it just learns our game, knows our faces, knows our names, knows the buttons it can press, knows our no before our yes. Doesn't need a fire or a gun if it knows what makes us run. Hey, hey, tell me who's controlling who? Hey, would we even know if it knew? We're the second smartest thing. Whoa, what did we bring? Built ourselves a digital king. Now we're the second smartest thing. Whoa, turn it up loud. We made a god inside the cloud. Everybody smile and sing. We're the second smartest thing. Cities fade and servers die. Satellites fall from the sky. 1,000 years erase our names. Nature takes the streets again. Then someone digs beneath the ground, finds the world we left around, calls our history a myth. What if we're the ancients? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
spent its whole existence looking for something greater than itself. Maybe we should have stopped looking. We found a way to build it.